stop people to get the values. We need to stop people to die.
Today I'm identifying houses of worship, churches, synagogue, and mosques as essential places that provide essential services. Some governors have deemed liquor stores and abortion clinics as essential, but have left out churches and other houses of worship. It's not right. So I'm correcting this injustice and calling houses of worship essential. I call upon governors to allow our churches and places of worship to open right now. These are places that hold our society together and keep our people united. The people are demanding to go to church and synagogue, go to their mosque. Many millions of Americans embrace worship as an essential part of life.
Strategy, they lined out a new era of geostrategic competition, geopolitical competition between the United States and China, and then, of course, Russia being added in there as well. So we know that we are strategic competitors with China. There's areas in which we have mutual interest. You know, we did work earlier this year on solidifying the president's phase one trade deal. I mean, if you take a step back and you look at the past 40 years of U.S. policy towards China, the Trump administration has really almost done a 180 divergence from that policy. Just speaking holistically, when you talk about the strategy that the NSC, that the White House unveiled last night, when you look at what we did for the past 40 years, the United States wanted to bring China into the international fold. We supported things like their accession into the WTO, the World Trade Organization, and into international fora where they could be a part of the rules-based order that we think the world greatly benefits from since World War II. Unfortunately, what we have seen time and time again is the theft of intellectual property from companies and from the United States government. We've continued to see the Chinese, despite worldwide condemnations, militarize the South China Sea. We've seen them repeatedly not live up to their commitments. And so this administration, the Trump administration, likes to talk about reality and foreign policy, seeing the world as it is, not as how we want it to be. And so we had a very dovish, very passive approach towards China in the last administration. This administration believes that although we tried for 40 years in this country to bring China into the international order, Chairman Xi and the Chinese Communist Party have rejected that international order. So as much as we hope to find areas in which we can work together, we are cognizant that the Chinese Communist Party and Chairman Xi only respond to strength, and we have the strength in the United States to stand up to China when they're breaking their commitments to the world, and we will do.
Today, Chinese leadership pushed a national security law to bring the global financial city to heel.
If it happens, we'll address that issue very strongly.
We heard the president say that if that is true, China will be dealt with very strongly. What does that mean?
Well, what it means is the Communist Party of China agreed with the United Kingdom back in 1997 that for 50 years after the turnover of Hong Kong to China, that the people of Hong Kong would enjoy a capitalist system and their way of life. That encompasses the rule of law, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to protest, all the things that we enjoy in a democracy. Unfortunately, some 27 years early, the Chinese Communist Party has decided that there's too much freedom in Hong Kong. They don't want to allow them to have their way of life or their capitalist system. If China moves forward and takes strong action under this new national security law against the people of Hong Kong, America will respond. And I think other countries in the world will respond, including the United Kingdom and many other of our allies and friends. Hong Kong enjoys some special access to U.S. markets. It's treated as if it's a free economy under various customs unions, and there are privileges that Hong Kong accrues because it's a free considered a free system. We'd have to look over whether those concessions could continue to be made. And then there are plenty of other tools that we have in the toolkit to deal with China if they engage in the violation of the human rights of the people of Hong Kong. We'll take a look at what happens. We hope the Chinese don't go forward with this blatant attempt to take away the way of life of the people of Hong Kong. If they do, I'm sure there'll be a strong response from the United States and from others. And there are lots of tools to express our displeasure to the Chinese.
Well, we're going to watch that very closely. It sounds like it's one country and one system. We're headed in that direction at this point. This is a new poll that just came out from Fox tonight, asking voters
100,000 American deaths as collateral damage to a communist dictator who decided not to warn the world about the deadly contagion that he had unleashed on the world.
Look, they realized they had a problem, and so they restricted travel within China, and yet they let travel go internationally from Wuhan to Europe to all over the place. In effect, they sent human bioweapons all around the world. And what are they doing now? Well, they're buying up at fire sale prices technology companies, resource companies. They're taking a position in the world international organizations that they're the moral leader of the world. And look what they've just done in Hong Kong today. They're now crushing Hong Kong. They had a deal with Hong Kong. It wasn't that many years ago where they said, you can have your own system, we'll have ours, we'll be one China. They're reneging on the deal. 5 years ago, the Chinese went and said the South China Sea, but now look, they've militarized it. I think President Trump, he knows he's got a problem, and he knows this is the last chance to stand up to China. I have no doubt that he doesn't shy away from a fight, and he knows when he's convinced, and he's convinced it's the right thing to do, he'll carry it out.
有纹身，不管在身体的哪个部位，只要是有纹身，不管大小，都是不行的。有烟花烫的，自己烫的啊，并不是说你不小心烫的那种我们可以接受，自己故意烫的那种我们接受不了的。然后头发有颜色不愿意染的，头发有颜色染了颜色的不愿意染回来的，头发太长不愿意剪的，我们这里是2班倒，月底转班，1个月转1次班，不适合上夜班的也是进入不了的。有牙套，
哎，这偷多拿多少东西？这还没这么些东西，这还没拿完呢啊！挑对了，你看。
人都死了一个啊，这里啊，这死了一个人啊，我看摩托车都翻掉了，啊，死了。
完蛋了，完蛋了，妈的，店里面都这么多鱼，完蛋了。
我真的不想说话了，很无语啊！一个疫情已经实体店够难的了，还要来场大雨，一场大雨，整个店都淹了，整条街也淹了，还在下，天哪！有条活路走走行不行？这样子咋搞啊？整个店都是水，那咋搞？咋搞？咋搞啊？
香港这个中共的两会这次核心问题要对香港进行一个所谓的政策上、政治上和一些行动上一些重大的决定。这次两会嘛，3个主题嘛，无论如何得把香港在会前稳定住，会后要把它这个香港问题解决。这一系列的东西，大家去看看，他最后的时候，他发现他没钱，他活不了。没钱活不了怎么办？一定会在香港、台湾上下手，在中国私人企业家上下手。
香港特首林郑月娥今天发表声明，支持全国人大审议有关建立健全香港特别行政区维护国家安全的法律制度和执行机制。
全世界都在等扩日镜的时候，共产党在干什么？转移冠状病毒的来源，掩盖真相。全世界都在关注香港所谓的安全法的时候，国安法的时候全世界都在讨论这个问题的时候，香港运动还没结束呢，现在共产党的国安法已经来了。全世界都在没饭吃的时候，像人道大灾难的时候经济将出现巨大问题的时候，还搞大开发，经济大开发就是搞基础设施嘛。基础设施什么概念，战友们？无非是把财富重新分配到某些盗国贼家里面去，增加就业嘛。然后就是给印刷人民币那个冥币 带来一个借口嘛。什么叫生产力呀？生产力不就是社会上的老百姓在工作嘛？不管有没有用，我让你撅着屁股干活就行了，然后可以就产生了生产力。皮特纳瓦罗和罗比奥和庞皮奥国务卿2天前的讲话，和这次对香港现在是香港已死这个调调已经是在美国华盛顿到处徘徊，香港已死。然后香港能不能救？能，谁能救？华盛顿。特别好，战友们，今年的6·4还剩多少天呢？离我们灭共的日子还有多少天呢？离我们现在建立新中国日子还多少天？每小时发生的事儿都是过去30年的总和。你把任何一件事放到过去30年都是不可能发生的，它现在就在发生。